You're listening to the Headz Collide podcast by Headz Entertainment.
Exquisite made it.
What's up, y'all? This is Rage with Headz Entertainment. You're listening in to the When Headz Collide podcast, episode number 5. We got M.E. I don't know if I should drop her real name. I'm just going to say M.E.
We'll keep it a little anonymous.
Yep. Shit, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready, to test my ability to articulate myself and talk about interesting things.
This your first podcast ever?
Second, I would say. I did mention I was doing something with my sister.
Yep.
So I had a little test run, I got my feet wet a little bit. Not that nervous, still a little nervous, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you what are some of your tell some of your fans out there, like any projects you're working on, or before, like we could talk about like what projects you do actually, because I see you on your Facebook, you be doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Right now I'm posting here and there, but I'm working on an Oracle deck. I'm working on
what?
Oracle deck.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically just like a deck of cards that people can go to for like guidance, like self-guidance. Like it's like tarot cards. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You draw them, get a message, stuff like that. I'm working on that. More clothing ideas for sure. I have some ready. I just need to like bring it into physical form. And then
do you have an Etsy or anything for your clothing?
I don't know, because like right now, see, I have this jacket, and it's basically like a sample right now because I was working with somebody, and I'm basically trying to find a good manufacturer. So once I get that down, then I'll get Etsy and the website and all that stuff going.
What about would you be willing to do a Shopify and then like get a Printify going?
Yeah, I looked into that for sure. It's just I don't want to be too much into print on demand just yet. I want to get there when things get, I guess, more like of a bigger audience.
Yeah.
Just because
that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm working more so like on the fashionable side instead of the fast fashion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm also working on a song. I have one song that I'm working on that I hope to release maybe like within the end of next month. And then what else do I got going on? I mean, as far as projects that I'm going to release to the public, that's it right there. For sure.
How long have you been making music?
I started making music probably when I was around like 16 or 15. And then I made my first song 2 years ago, like my first official song where I actually went to a studio and recorded and written down and like, did the whole thing. Like I bought my first exclusive beat. Like I knew I had to do it the right way. So I bought like my beat exclusively. I'm not doing leases or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the studio that you said you went to was at Pat Anthony? Pat Anthony's?
Yeah, that's the first one I
shout out
went
to Pat. He's a good dude. He's one of the really like main hitters out here right now. He's doing really good.
Yeah, he's getting it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I see him.
That's cool that you went to him.
Yeah, I definitely try to keep tapped into everything going on in Denver. Just because, like, since I am trying to take things seriously, I do want to make the right moves, So I definitely keep an eye on everybody and, like, make sure, if I do something with somebody, it's intentional and not just like, oh, yeah, this is the first person I heard of, blah, 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 I like, the chemistry has to be right. The energy has to be right. Everything has to be right in order for things to get,
Yeah. You
bigger,
definitely want to
in my
collaborate.
opinion. Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot what I was going to ask. So
whatever.
what was the song that you did with Pat?
It was called I'ma Get It.
I'ma Get It.
Yeah.
And we could listen to it right here.
I'ma get it, I'ma get it, I'ma think it, I'ma learn it, I'ma do it, get it, get it, when I lose, pick or choose, I refuse to feel ashamed, like these lanes that fail to turn their pain into glory, cause my story gon' write history.
How long did it take you to What was your process when it came to finishing that song?
My process?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was really like just, I had a point to prove to myself, you know? I just had my second son. And personally, there was a lot of times where I felt because I became a mother that my life was over. Like I thought, oh, I can't do anything. I have to dedicate myself into creating a safe space, raising them, making sure they get everything they need type of stuff. But then the more and more I got into self-development and just realizing how much energy and states of mind matter, I was like, I can do this. Like, I can do all of this at once. Like, I can balance it out, make sure everything's cool, and do what I want to do at the same time. It does take me a little longer than normal people, but I'm still doing something, you know? So at least it counts.
So what you say it takes a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. What are your steps when it comes to saying it takes a little longer, and like how are you working on your when I mean process, like do you write first? Do you think of the concept first, or do you just write lyrics? Do you like to write poetry first? Like where do you write it on a pen, or do you write it pencil to paper? Do you write it in your phone?
Okay, so I definitely start with the beat. Like I have to have a beat so then I can get the rhythm, and then after I get the rhythm, that's when I start to write and then get like a good storyline going, like the concept and everything like that. And then after I get that down, when I get into the studio, that's where I start to experiment more with the structure as far as like where my lyrics are going, when they're coming in, how they're going to sound, and like what I want my voice to feel like. And then, yeah.
I feel that. Do you have any, like, who was your biggest influence when it comes to music? Do you have anybody that you like aspire to work with, or even almost not necessarily emulate their style, but just like, who do you listen to the most?
I don't really have a particular artist that like I look up to, just because I feel like when I put myself in that kind of state of mind, I end up trying to copy them in a way.
Yeah.
So I take a little bit from everybody. Like, so for example, like J. Cole, I like really like conscious rap.
Yeah.
Like I like when it makes you think and it keeps you in the same in the state of mind where you keep positive thinking. So like again, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye, Erykah Badu, and then Lauryn Hill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's
Those are
fresh.
like top, yeah, like she's. I aspire to be something like that, where like my music, I want it to be timeless, and like I want people to be able to connect to it when they're feeling like low or something like that, and they'll get the boost of energy, of ambition, or whatever. Like Lauryn Hill does for me.
Yeah.
Like she's just like a solid female, like all around. Her image, everything. Like she's very down to earth, and like she's about leading women into the right direction where it doesn't lead into cycles like other rappers do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's who I would look up to for sure, Lauryn Hill. If I were to pick, I would
You
say
want to
her.
like, when it comes to art form, I feel like the most important thing is for us to want to invoke emotion.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and we were talking earlier, but as an artist, and that, correct me if I'm wrong for you, but for me, and when I do my artwork, or if I'm doing a podcast, or I've done any type of medium of art that I do,
Yeah.
I never really appreciate it.
You don't appreciate it?
I don't appreciate it because I'm always like real critical about my shit. And then
Okay, yeah,
I'll
no, I
sit
see
there
what
and
you
be
mean.
like, yeah, it's all right. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like, I could do way better now. You know what I mean? So if it's always like a stepping stone when you get something done, like a whole piece, you're like, that shit's cool. Like, it's tight. Like, once you get it done, you're like tight.
I did that.
And then the next day, you're just like, I want to do something else now.
I can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. That's how I felt with my first song.
Yep.
I was like, I'm the shit. Like, I got this. I'm so cool. But then after a while, I'm like, this is trash. Like, I could do so much better. There's no way I could just do this.
What is it that makes it like that for us? Like, it's
just really the drive, I feel like. You know, like, we have to... I feel like if we were proud and happy about what we do, we'd be done. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
like,
good point.
we'd be done. We'd be like, did it. I'm cool. I'm done. But I think that that level of, I could do better. I could do this next time or something like that. It just keeps us going and elevating.
Yeah. Evolving into like a better artist. Dang, I didn't even think of it like that. Where like if I completely like my art form, like I wouldn't just keep going with the podcast. You'd be like, that shit was tight, and I'm just only do one podcast.
I did my thing.
I
We're
did
good
it.
here.
No. I'd be upset, but
Right.
I get real down on myself too. I hate that I do that. Like I'll do a piece and I'll be like, fuck. Like I'll point out all the flaws that really no one's gonna see besides me.
And that's actually a common trait for successful people. They say that they have like 3 common traits. One is we're kind of somewhat delusional. Like we think we're the shit. Like we could do anything. Like, but then also we feel like we're not enough sometimes, you know. And then, of course, those 2 things correlate, and then that creates that drive to keep going. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's very ironic because, like, why?
What was it? What was a quote? I remember. Fuck, I could barely remember. I'll paraphrase it, but it was like, "What is the one thing that Kanye regretted?" And he was like, "That I'll never be able to see myself perform," or something like that.
Oh, he doesn't watch himself perform?
No, well, I think it means more like, "What's your one regret?"
Yeah.
I'll never be able to watch myself perform, and I think that means like
He would be
he'll
too critical.
he'll never be like a fan of his own.
Oh, okay.
Like he'll never be able to see it from a third eye. You know what I mean? From a third perspective.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like I always wanted to see my shit and be like, that fool sucks. You know what I mean? Or like, that fool's sick. Like I want to see what other people see rather
Right.
than what I see as the creator.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't you want to listen to your music from a fan's perspective?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because in the same sense that I say I think my first song is trash, there's somebody out there that's like, it's my favorite song. I literally listen to it every day. Like, you're so inspiring. Like, that's, like, you're everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, that was the point
How
of
do
my
you-
music. But, like,
How do you feel when those times happen?
grateful for sure. Because that's why
Yeah.
I do it. You know, like,
Yeah.
I want people to connect and be like, okay, let me listen to this and then get motivated, you know, and, like, feel inspired and then keep going. For sure. Because that's what music does for me. When I listen to music, especially good, conscious music, I'm like, yep, I could take over the world, you know?
Yeah. Do you like nowadays music, or do you like old school?
More
what did
old
you?
school for sure.
Yeah. Who else did you grow up on then?
But, well, I listened to Ludacris, 50 Cent, G-Unit. I was really into R&B too, so like Mario.
More of the mainstream stuff.
Yeah, yeah, more of the mainstream stuff for sure. Recently, I got into Coda the Friend,
Okay.
and I think he's from Colorado. I'm not too sure, but I just got into him. He's cool. Who else? I forgot the other new artist I'm getting into, but yeah, I'm actually getting obsessed with music now too because I'm learning. I forgot to mention this. I'm learning how to make beats soon.
Oh, sweet.
So my next session where I record my song, I'm also going to be learning how to make beats. And then, like, I've already been kind of interning here and there, like at 432 with Tommy Fortune. And I have my own little setup I've been playing with. And hopefully soon I'll be mixing, mastering, making my own beats, and doing the whole shebang.
So what are you gonna use? Logic, Fruity Loops?
See, I don't know yet.
You don't
Because
know yet?
I feel like a good producer uses all of them as far as what I'm seeing, you know? Because I've been like, so I'm a huge manifest generator. Like,
Yeah.
it's scary almost because the things I manifest, it always align with what I want to do. So, like, I end up attracting people that are, like, doing what I'm doing and, like, seeing their own processes and, like, how they make beats, how they mix and master, how they make their music and stuff like that is very, very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
There's a whole plethora of different ways to do certain things and execute, like, in music. So, it's super exciting, but...
I feel that. Do you have anybody here that you want to work with?
Right now...
Like in Denver, you're like, dang, I want to work with that dude or that artist.
Right now, not right now, just because, like, I'm really just focusing on building me. And then once I get to a certain place with myself and my music where I feel good enough, maybe I'll consider, doing with other artists.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it takes leadership to even work with other people in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to control the energy a little bit, and like, it's not just yours. So it's like someone else coming in and they're putting their energy in, and like sometimes they might not even, like there might be lacking chemistry, stuff like that. Yeah.
It's hard. That's why when it comes to what we were talking about earlier, when it comes to doing a podcast, some people just can't carry a conversation. They don't know how to ask questions back. They don't keep eye contact. And I'm not the best at it. Yeah. But it's like, fuck, it's real. Like, you want to work with everybody, but not everybody can work with you.
Right. Exactly. It's actually interesting too, because TikTok has been blowing my mind with like psychological things. And like, I heard this thing where there's two different types of people when it comes to conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, there's people that just talk. Like, they talk about anything all day, every day. But then there's people that like, they don't talk unless spoken to. And like, it's crazy because when those two people meet, they get offended about each other, Because
oh my God.
Because like,
been there.
If you're not asking questions, then they feel like you don't care. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then there's some people that are like, why are you talking so much? Why is it just about you? Blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. It's so crazy. And that blew my mind because I was like, I'm the person, like, if you're not asking me questions, I get offended.
Like, what's up? Are you all right? Are we cool? Yeah, I'm the same way.
Don't you want to know about me?
Do you want to fucking talk? Like, are we cool? Like, I'm the same way. I it's hard for me to wait my turn to talk.
Oh, I can tell. I'm like, I'll let you talk.
Oh, yes. I'm trying my best. I'm like, ask me some questions back. No, I'm just kidding. But it's hard talking to someone who just is a good listener.
Yeah.
So you're like, I wonder.
That's where balance comes from, though, in life. I think some people do need a good listener in their life. But also, you have to become aware of those certain things because, like, when it comes to alchemy, like, when you try to gain control of your life, like, you have to learn how to do everything. Like, you have to master the art of everything. And there's, like, a plethora of things that you can master in order to make life really like your bitch. You know what I mean? Like, have full control over it. Like, communication, comprehension, understanding, knowledgeability, accountability, for sure. And, just communication for sure is like the biggest one, I feel like. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you read?
I don't.
You don't read
I actually have, I feel like I have dyslexia. So, like, I'm getting better at reading, but for some reason, like, when I read, like, I'll read a whole paragraph. I have no idea what it says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about listening to Audible books?
Yeah, I'll do Audibles for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever? Oh, sorry. A podcast?
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to The Alchemist?
No.
No, that's a really good book.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a sweet, short little book, and I think you'd like that.
I think I've seen it before. It has like a leaf on the cover, right?
Yeah, I have it here, actually. I'll show you. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to read it for sure. I'll try to anyways.
Yeah. What other podcasts do you listen to?
Excuse me. So right now, like, I used to be big on podcasts, YouTube, like everything, because I was looking for answers and guidance and stuff like that. But I feel like I reached a point in my life where I have to connect more into my intuitive powers. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm learning more so within, like, things around me where I put myself and certain situations I'm challenging myself in. So, like, with music, art, everything, like fashion and all that stuff, it's helping me learn so much in all areas of life that I'm trying to learn, especially when I have the eye for it. Like, you have to have an eye for it, too. Yeah. Like, sometimes you have all the answers in front of you, mm-hmm. but you can't see them because, like, you're just not looking for them, you know, or you just feel like they're just not there or something.
Yeah, you're not focused.
Right.
On the right things.
Yeah.
So if you're able to, like, harness that focus, if you have right now, like, where do you see yourself within the next 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah, it's always a basic ass question, but it's real, like,
mm-hmm. No,
as
you
an
definitely
artist.
have to have that plan. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely do want to make a very successful clothing brand. Music is something that I love to do. I don't really see myself or wanting to see myself become famous. You know, like fame is like a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm really just getting into music just so I understand all levels of it, as far as producing, writing, structure, and just different processes into it. And then I really just want to become a good beat maker and producer and just work with artists in the background. You know, like I don't want to be in the mainstream.
Do you
part
want
of
it to be your full time though?
So for me, like, I have to switch it up.
Yeah.
That's why I do so much, because I don't want to burn out and get bored of something. So, and it tends to happen, but like, at least when I go to this other thing, I can come back and feel refreshed, you know, and do it 10 times better, or, you know, just have a good start in it. So, in 5 years though, again, like, yeah, good producer, beat maker. And then I also want to be really prominent in fashion. And then I want to have a big old fancy house, of course, garden. Like I want to be self-sustainable, make my own like food, garden, everything. And then I really just want to have, like, my main goal really is just to have all the resources and all the knowledge to be able to help like my kids do whatever they want. You know, like that's really my main goal. Like everything I'm doing is fun and cool, but like it's not really for me, you know, it's really for my kids. Like once I learn how to make music, they're going to be able to be like, hey mom, how do I do this? And I'll be like, got you, like here, this is how you do this is how you do that. Anything business, you need a logo, I got you, whatever, you know, like I want them to be able to come to me for everything and then learn so they could do whatever they need to do on their own.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's
for sure.
It's hard being an artist and being a parent at the same time, because it's like, you got to allocate your hours properly, and then you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to do this, and then I got to get off of work, and then I need to start hustling on my craft, and then you're like, oh shit, I got to be a parent, and then get these kids fed, and I don't know. I get overwhelmed. There's not enough.
For sure.
Yeah, not
There's
enough
definitely
time.
things getting sacrificed.
I hate it.
Like my social life is completely depleted. I'm just like, I don't talk to anybody. I don't have friends. Like, I'm just an artist that's like driving themselves mad, creating things, you know?
You're going to tear your ear off like Van Gogh over here.
I do feel like that's something like, I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
You know, I see why.
It's fucking hard out here trying to balance all this time, and it's like there's not enough time during the day just to get fucking fold your clothes type of deal, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like, if you slack, you'll feel it.
Ah, definitely slack.
It'll definitely ricochet into everything in life. So discipline is everything for me, for sure. Like, I have a whole routine. I make sure I take care of everything when it needs to be taken care of. Otherwise, I beat myself up about it later, and I'm like...
What do you do that helps you sharpen your discipline?
I wouldn't say I really do anything. It's just like the effect of it is enough for me not to ever, you know, let myself slack, because like I'm a single mom, like, and I have a whole lot of responsibility. Like I'm not just taking care of my kids. I have to actually worry about my parents and, you know, people in my family. And like in a way, like the best way to simplify and describe my life, I feel like, have you ever seen the movie Encanto?
I haven't
from
seen
Disney?
It yet.
That's it for me right there. I feel like the main character girl, where like the house is falling apart and I have to like fix it. So there's definitely a lot of responsibility, and just slacking or even taking for granted any moment in my life, it reflects in everything. So, and I get punished for it for sure, because like, I think I've always had this feeling within me that, like, I've been destined for, like, greatness. And whatever that looks like, it's going to be, like, huge, for sure. It's just the distractions, you know, I have to stay focused.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard not to get distracted. It's so easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially, I don't know what it is. I stopped. As soon as I got a TikTok, I was like, yeah, I got fucking ADHD from just watching these videos. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Did I just self-diagnose myself with having fucking ADHD?
Don't get me started. I feel like I'm on the spectrum and shit. Like, they got me questioning everything about me. But I try not to let that get too much into my head just because I don't like how people talk about it, you know? They call it mental illness and
I
stuff
don't look
like
at
that.
it like that.
Right.
I think it's a genius trait.
Exactly. That's how I see it. I think it's definitely gifts, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're on the spectrum?
I do.
Yeah? In what
And
way?
just because of, like, certain things I dealt with growing up.
Okay.
Like how I mentioned, like, in class. Like,
yeah, explain that again.
So I know there's a fine line. Like, ADHD, you can't focus. Like, your mind's going a million miles an hour, stuff like that. I do think I have that. But also, I just had trouble, like, comprehending things. Like, it was such a challenge for me to even, like, catch a grip on what people were telling me. Because I think it was, well, here's the thing, too. I feel like I was also dealing with social anxiety, like really bad social anxiety. Like, I used to get red and start sweating when anybody said anything to me. Like, it was so bad.
school?
Crippling. Yeah, in school.
Oh, shit.
So, like, I didn't have friends. Like, everybody looked at me like I was a weirdo because I never talked to anybody. Like, it was just me and like, I had a best friend. And that was it. And, like, anybody who tried talking to me, sometimes, like, just because of how crippling it was, like, my getting nervous and anxious, I would say things that were dumb. Like, I would sound dumb, you know, like, it wouldn't come out properly. Or, like, I just didn't know how to say it. It would just be, like, you could hear the shiver in my voice because I was just so nervous on how to, you know, say something, like, anything.
Yeah.
So I would be, like, no. Like,
Just
that
a
kind of
short
person, like,
response.
very short, you know, like, I didn't know how to build off a conversation, that type of thing. And I thought that made me dumb, you know, like,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm not on the spectrum. Maybe it was just social anxiety.
That makes sense.
That's the thing about the information thing, though. Like, we're in a crazy time these days. You know, information's hitting like wildfire.
Yeah.
And it's confusing people, I feel like. It's confusing me, shit. I don't, you know, like, I'm trying to understand myself, and I'm like, over here, am I on the spectrum? Am I like, what am I?
Yeah.
What is going on here? I just want to understand so that I can work on it.
I feel like that's why TikTok's getting ready to get banned.
You think so?
Do you think it's gonna get banned?
Oh.
You don't think
Why
it
would
will?
it?
I don't, because they're talking about like information.
Is that even legal?
What?
Like, banning an app?
Yeah, it's not American.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. That makes sense.
they're talking about like China being more infiltrative when it comes to our information, and
Yeah.
I'm ignorant to that whole thing. All I'm gonna say is, what if it's just all the information that is being given from TikTok,
Yeah.
not just kids dancing and people being dumb, but there is also a lot of information that's coming in
A lot.
fucking just overwhelming
much.
amounts. Yeah.
Stop.
So that's why
Yeah.
I wonder if if they're trying to suppress that, and that's why they're gonna ban it. Like, there's some hidden agenda type shit. Because when I'm
I
on
don't know,
TikTok, it's
man.
wild.
It's different. I've also noticed that because of all the information coming in, it's actually creating like this whole new like symptom of crazy. Like, there's people that are like, they know so much and they're just scared of the world. Like, and they don't even eat too because they hear
Oh
about
my
all this
God.
crazy stuff about food, you know, and it's like,
Yep.
man, it's so crazy because I went through that more so like when I was like around 15, 16. Like, I was getting hit with information like crazy because that's how I was working my algorithm on Facebook. That's where I was getting my information from. And Facebook was raw back then. Like,
Yeah.
you could watch people getting their heads chopped off at that time.
Oh, I remember those days.
That was crazy. And like, just all these different conspiracies and truths coming out and stuff like that. So going back to TikTok, I don't think they would ban it. They'd probably just censor it, if anything, just like Facebook, you know.
They better not censor. I heard the difference too, though, from China. Like, they only put videos in their algorithm that really blow up when it's like really informative or like unique to an art form, like how, you know what I mean? But here
China's
it's
crazy.
yeah, but here it's like all dumbed down. Like, the dumbest shit gets popular as hell. You know what I mean? That's when it hits the algorithm. And over there, it's completely opposite. Like, it has to be really something really innovative for it to hit the algorithm.
I wonder if it's a cultural thing, though.
I feel like
You
it
know,
is.
because Americans, we get made fun of a lot just from being American alone. Like, we're not the classiest people compared to other people, and we
Yeah.
don't hold ourselves to any kind of standard. We're just like free flowing over here, balls out, tits out over here.
Yep.
You know? And like with China, they have freaking, what is it called? Credit scores for their personalities.
That sounds scary.
Like they,
This is real?
this is real. Yeah. No, you can look it up.
That sounds crazy.
Like they pay attention to how involved you are in community, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you like a score. So like even if you end up like in public or something and you show that you're like abusive towards your spouse, they put that on your record. And they have like a billboard where they show those things. Like they actually, you know.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now while
It's
you're talking.
crazy.
So
It's crazy. So it's definitely a cultural thing and a systematic thing for sure. Like whatever they got going on over there, I'm sure.
they have a few different things. So there are multiple social credit systems in China, some of which are designed and operated by the state, while others are operated by private companies. Scholars have conceptualized 4 different types of systems. We could talk more about that. That just seems a lot.
I hope we don't get there, you know, because
I mean, they're super ran by like a dictatorship, though. I'd rather. I don't know. I wonder what's going on with our TikTok, because I feel like it's a tool that we use to educate, but I wonder if it's a big deal that they're not letting us use the education as much as they do, because our algorithms are flipped maybe on purpose. That's what
I think it's
hearing
also
an
on the
argument.
person too, though, because like my algorithm's the shit. Like I see some
Yeah.
crazy cool stuff. Like the information, again, it drives me crazy.
On purpose.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and then it does connect to other platforms too. So like, if you're looking at dumb shit on Instagram, it's gonna go into TikTok too. If you look
Yeah.
at dumb shit at Facebook, it's gonna connect to TikTok too. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's really just that's what it comes down to, mindset too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you gotta really discipline everything. A like actually goes a long way in your life these days.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
I try not to like videos, even though it's all funny, because I want to save it in my liked videos.
Yeah.
And then you're like, look, then more videos like this are gonna come up.
And then
One-
you're just
yeah.
stuck on the funny shit.
when I first started my TikTok, it was nothing but art and graphic design tutorials and podcast clips, and
Yeah.
now it's just funny shit. I'm like, damn, I killed my own TikTok. But it happened quick. How fast? Or how,
Yeah.
You know, it happened
No,
fast.
for sure. You just gotta like 3 videos and boom, that's all you're seeing. That's all you're seeing.
Yeah, and my algorithm in Facebook, maybe it's something that's happening. All my Facebook is in Spanish now.
Okay. It could be like your face recognition. I don't know.
I don't know, but all of the videos
wild.
that come up, they're all in Spanish now.
That's so
Like,
crazy.
yeah, or my ads now, I'll be going down and it's like all in Spanish. I'm like, damn, I don't even put anything in Spanish, but maybe I liked a few Spanish
Yeah.
videos that I
Yeah.
understood and
Or
just
even spoke
doop, doop,
Spanish
doop, doop.
around your phone. Shoot, it goes
Yeah.
that deep. So
I'm like, what the heck? Oh, that probably is, because I've been saying that. I'm like, I don't want to work on my Spanish more.
yep.
I've been saying that.
You
I
can
just
think
said it
You
again
can
now.
think it and it'll
Serious.
sense it.
Siri's gonna be tripping on me now. She's gonna be replying to me in Spanish. Is there a Spanish Siri?
I don't even know, honestly. That probably is.
We should ask her. See.
Gotta
um,
be.
But one thing I really wanted to talk to you about was your journey with the mushrooms, the psilocybin.
My journey has been wild. So, I actually started getting into mushrooms because my sister wanted to.
Yeah.
And the only way I could get my hands on it was when I got it in bulk. So I got, pretty big bag, and then I just was like, okay, let me just experiment with this, because I've been looking into it, doing research. She has too. I've been picking her brain about it. And then I learned that it's a huge help with connecting neurons in your brain, restoring neurons in your brain, and also helping you rewire. So, like, when you grow up throughout your childhood, you develop yourself from your environment and who you've been around, right? But you reach a certain point in your life where you gain control of that, and you can completely rewrite it. And for me, shrooms has helped with that just because it puts you in a state of like this crazy vulnerability. Like you really feel and see things for what they are instead of like the illusion you put in your brain or playing victim and like acting like it's all their fault, blah blah blah. You start taking your own accountability. So for me, what I started with was actually like tripping hard. Like I would take probably an eighth at a time, excuse me, and then like really trip. And this was actually during COVID. So like it was super interesting because I would be at home, you know, stuck at home, but then I would walk outside and then see like a park taped up and stuff like that. So that was a trip in itself. But like, sorry, I was getting off track. When I was tripping,
How much did you eat?
an eighth.
Okay.
And when I was tripping, I would go into like this deep state of depression. You know, you would think it'd make you happy or something like that, but it actually made me like super depressed. And it was just because of that like enlightenment into like reality and like seeing things for what they are and how like I can gain control of it. And then I did that probably maybe 4 or 5 times where I was actually almost, I feel like I was getting like addicted to it in a way,
Yeah.
you know, because I liked the feeling of the ego death and like feeling my emotions for what they were, because I felt like they were suppressed for a very long time. And then once I felt like I really got like the emotional part out, because like I would do like hour sessions of crying and like fetal position type stuff, like where I was just like, I felt so small and like helpless. And then once I got that out, it was almost like my inner child type of thing, you know? Once I got that out, though, I started microdosing. And then I started doing practices with my intuition and my art. And, like, expressing myself through those things. And then it just, honestly, aligned me to a lot of the things I need. And I'm, you know, and the things I need to focus on.
So you like being uncomfortable?
I'm falling in love with it for sure, just because I know that's where the most growth comes from.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm definitely going to overanalyze myself after this for sure, because I'm going to be like, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? Stuff like that. Because again, I'm learning how to articulate myself. I was somebody that has been isolated and around toxicity like my entire life. So now that I'm back alone, taking my own power as a single mother, it's a whole different ball game, and it's invigorating, but also really hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
What's the most you've eaten in one session?
I would say a little bit more than an eighth. I never did anything more than that. And I tried a bunch of different ways too. I was also experimenting with a bunch of different ways. So there's like lemon teching, and that's basically when you crush it into powder form and then you let it sit in lemon juice for like 15 minutes and you just shot it.
Yeah.
And then I did smoothie, and then I also tried mixing like different supplements at the same time, and then like completely changing my diet too at the same time.
What type of supplements first?
Okay, well, the supplement part did not go very well, so don't take this for sure. I don't, but I did milk thistle with I took it in a green tea, and then I think the other supplement was like B12, but I don't know. I think it was the milk thistle and having it in tea form that really just messed me up, because it was like a bad trip. It was horrible. Like I was like stuck on the toilet. Like
Throwing
no,
up?
it was not okay. Yeah, I was like, it did not want to be inside me. So definitely rejected. Don't do it.
And I was about an eighth as well?
No, that one was like 2 grams.
Okay. Yeah, I want to try it. I definitely want to try the microdose. I've heard of
So many different ways.
the lemon. What is it called?
Lemon teching?
Lemon teching.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And doesn't the
That was my
citrus, the citrus should like amplify it, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. So be careful with that. Like, I think even if, like, some people, I feel like they'll eat it with anything at this point just because there's not enough information about it, or people are not doing their research. But, like, there's people that eat it with pizza and stuff like that. So, like, it definitely has different effects with what you consume with it. The lemon one is definitely enhancing for sure. That's my favorite. I like doing it that way because it's easy on the stomach. You don't feel nauseous, and it hits you faster.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the process again?
So you crush it up in powder form. You put it in like a shot of lemon juice, and you let it sit for 15 minutes. And then after the 15 minutes, you could either like strain it and just take the lemon juice, or just shot it.
Wow.
All together. Yeah.
Do you strain it or do you just shoot it all?
I just shoot it off. I want the whole shebang.
Yep. Dang. That's a wild. Yeah.
You were saying you wanted to get into it because of your PTSD, right?
Yeah. I definitely have PTSD just from growing up and the jobs that I had, and you know what I mean. When I did security, it was just like every fucking day there was always something different, and it's all when you work security, you don't work until you work. And people be like, "Oh, you're gonna do your job today?" You know what I mean? Like people would try to be funny about that shit.
Because you just kind of sit around and observe, right?
And what's funny is I came across you one time at fucking dispensary up north, and I was like, "Oh shit, I've got you on Facebook," you know.
That was an interesting interaction.
Yeah, I was so in trouble there.
Yeah.
I was in trouble because they were like, "He's not even checking IDs." I'm like, "I'm not a fucking ID checker." Like,
I know, that's what the window is for.
that's why she's behind the fucking glass, and I'm over here with the firearm on my hip.
You're like, I gotta keep vision. Like, what do you mean looking at IDs?
But for my PTSD, I definitely want to get going and microdosing, and maybe I get some capsules. I got some chocolate bars and stuff like that. I already have them.
Okay. And then have you tried it at all yet?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna try it probably. I was thinking about tomorrow.
What? Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And you're trying to trip or microdose?
Just microdose for right now.
Yeah.
And then.
It might feel like a trip because it's your first time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you take, still.
Yeah. Just
Maybe
because
not during
since
work
it's gonna
then?
be new for you, like, it won't really alter your state too crazy. It just makes you more hyper aware. You know?
Damn, I'm already hyper
yeah,
aware.
so it's gonna be like Limitless type of thing. You seen that movie
Yeah,
before?
I love that movie.
It's gonna be
fucking
like
love
that.
I'm not gonna start blanking out and fucking wake up over a dead body, am I?
No, nothing like
just
that.
kidding.
Not the crazy part, just the more energetic, like, oh shoot, I could do anything, like type of thing. So hey, it might help with your job.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm all tripping. I heard it helps with creativity though.
Oh yeah, definitely does.
Yeah.
I heard laughter helps with creativity too.
Fuck. I'm always laughing.
That's probably why you're creative.
Yeah. I definitely want to do microdosing because of PTSD, from trauma, shit, depression.
It's good for breaking habits too.
Really?
Like if you have bad habits, like alcoholism or whatever addictions.
Oh yeah, I heard it
really
helps
good
with
for
Yeah, I heard it helps with like stopping to smoke cigarettes too, right?
I heard that, yeah.
Like nicotine dependencies.
I don't know how true that one is, but I've heard that. Just because, like, I think when you do shrooms too, you actually kind of want to feel like smoking, just because it could be intense. I mean, personally, for me, in my opinion, my experience, that's what I feel like. When I take shrooms, sometimes it gets too intense, and I need to just like smoke some weed or something. You know?
How was that when you're tripping and you smoke
It's
some
just
weed?
like, so like, you know how you get hyper aware?
Yeah.
There's like a little level of anxiety with it, but like when you smoke, it's more calm and chill. Like it's actually like you know,
Balances you out.
really well. Yeah.
Damn.
Do you smoke?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not as much anymore, but yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get off of it too.
Yeah.
They say there's like when you're getting off of weed, there's a period where you have like fog, like
Yeah.
fog brain,
Yep.
and it can last up to weeks.
What?
Yeah. So I'm like,
Huh.
cool, let's do this.
I feel like I already have fog though.
Well, have you ever had like a long period where you didn't smoke?
Yeah.
You have? How long?
I've never been like a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
But like I've definitely stopped and just like right now, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I smoke every day, but
When's the longest you went without smoking?
a couple months.
Couple months?
Yeah, a few months, several months.
Yeah, you got a good sense of it then, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because I think the longest I've gone was a year.
Oh, okay.
And that was because I was pregnant and breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I had to, but that's the longest. I feel like I noticed a huge difference too. I think with weed, I think a lot of people like to say that they can't abuse it, but
Yeah,
I think you could.
Fuck yeah, you can abuse
Oh, yeah.
anything. You can abuse biting your fingernails.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to chill out. I actually want to cleanse completely. So I'm hoping to do like maybe a month or two. No smoking.
Really? Little tea break.
Yeah.
Tight. Do you like to eat edibles?
I do. I have some very strong ones right now. They're dangerous. I have to schedule those ones.
Yeah, you get stuck in a hole eating fucking mushrooms. Or sorry,
I
eating
pass
edibles.
out. I pass out with these edibles.
Fuck,
Too much.
I've eaten way too much edibles and just been like not able to do shit, not even able to think anymore. You're just K'd.
Yeah.
Like
I
you're
think
just
those
body
are,
shut
that's
down.
like if you have like a really bad day type of thing.
Yeah.
Just pass the fuck out.
Yep.
Munch and pass out.
But, I wonder what mushrooms do to me. Like,
And then there's different, like, I think there's 250 different species of mushrooms that are like psychedelic.
mhm.
That's crazy too, because there's like albino, penis envy,
Hillbillies.
golden teacher. I mean, the list goes on, but it's like those have different effects too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know which one did you get? Do you know?
I heard. I asked. They said they were hillbillies, but
okay.
my homie who's like really good with shrooms too.
Okay.
He was like, "Yeah, these probably are penis envy, whatever the fuck." Just 'cause
Yeah.
they're super fucking big.
Are they?
I was all like,
Oh
"Damn."
shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got these chocolate bars too, and they're like 3,500 milligrams.
3,500?
3,500.
Damn. Okay.
And it was like take like a quarter of the piece.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and it was like if you eat the whole thing, you're gonna. Like I could pull the bar out right now and read it, but it was like if you could if you eat the whole thing, you're gonna have like a whole day long experience, and if you eat maybe half of a piece, it'd be like nice for a cool little micro dose, or maybe even too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it's not. I don't know if I could trust this shit, but I'm just gonna eat one. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just eat a little piece.
I think one thing I noticed, even with microdosing, I end up like yawning a lot. So like it could have a tendency to make you tired, and that just goes back to like your state of mind and what you're trying to get out of mushrooms. Like it's so crazy how much it varies with every person. Like I've heard some people like they'll take a full bar and don't feel anything, just because of either what they ate, what they've been putting in their body, if they're mixing it with medications that they also take, and
Which is a no-no, I heard. Yeah.
yeah, or like substances like alcohol and stuff like that.
Why not alcohol? I know plenty of people who like to drink and take shrooms at the same time. If you're watching, you motherfucker.
Don't do it. I actually had such a bad trip. It was
I've
my
seen
first
them.
trip ever, and it was horrible, like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Straight up, because he mixed it with liquor. Like he just kept taking beer after beer after beer, and then it was almost like you leave it like like liquor in general, it opens a window to other spiritual things, in my opinion.
Yeah, spirits.
So yeah, and like this guy, he was drunk off his ass on shrooms, and it looked like he was possessed. Like,
oh my god.
I don't even know if I should tell this story. It's so bad.
Anonymity.
So bad. Like he so it was chill at first.
You guys it was just you two? Just
No,
chilling?
it was me, him, and then a friend. And it was supposed to be me and this friend, but then he ended up inviting this other guy last minute, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like the only girl between the two guys. And like the guy that I was doing it with, he was a good close friend. Like it was platonic. Like it was actually the first friend I had that was platonic.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the opposite gender, but yeah, like so we got the shrooms. We're like, fuck it, we got nothing to do. We go to his place, and then we just pop it. We just raw, whatever. And then he whipped out the beers, and then I was like, oh fuck, I'm on my period. I get in my car and I run home to go get like a pad. Mm-hmm. And then I come back and it hits me as I'm coming back. So I'm like tripping, like driving down the street. The lights, they look like a fast time lapse movie, like where it's just like a line almost. Yeah. It was so crazy. And then I show back up there and they're both outside, like, Monique, where are you? Like outside just screaming.
They were looking for you?
Yeah, because like it hit them too. Like it dropped at the same time. We all ate it at the same time.
Girl, where did she go?
And they're like, oh my
God.
She's going to crash. She's going to die or some shit, like some crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. So I come back and I see them in the middle of the street and I'm like, hi guys.
Oh my God.
And then we go inside. So, you know, the energy's up already. Adrenaline's flowing. But we go inside. And then this guy thought it was a good idea to pop some beers. And again, we're just chilling. We're blazing. It's hitting. We're tripping. And then all of a sudden, this guy is like, I don't know if the liquor dropped or what, but he ends up like talking about the Bible. And
oh my God.
And he's like, he's literally possessed though, because he's looking at me like a demon. Like and you could tell like his inner like male thoughts are coming out. You know what I mean? Like he's making me feel uncomfortable because he's looking at me like an object. Like he starts calling me over and like come
what
over
up?
Here, stuff like that. And I'm like, no, thank you.
And you're all hyper aware and able to read it.
And then so my homie, he sees that and he's like, bro, chill out. You're making her feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But he's drunk. So like you can't really talk sense into him, right? Mm-hmm. And then so they end up going out into the balcony to talk. And it ends up turning into this brawl. Like they're fist fighting each other. Blood starts getting drawn. Like it looked like two titans hitting each other type of shit. Like they're banging on the glass type of thing, you know? Like that's where shit starts to go left. And then they come in and I'm just like, I'm tripping. I don't want to be here. Like this is not safe. Like what are you guys doing? And then he starts losing it because of the adrenaline, I feel like. And then the liquor. He starts stripping himself naked.
The guy?
Kid you not. Yeah.
Or your homie?
No, the guy. Not my homie. This guy was not like, I wish I wish he didn't invite him. But he starts stripping naked and starts like talking in tongue, it sounds like. It feels like or whatever. And then he starts shoving himself under a sink. Like he's trying to go into a different portal or something.
That fool got fucked up.
It was bad. It was the worst first trip of my life. And then I just remember like, I'm going home. Like, I'm driving home. I don't give a fuck how much I'm tripping. I'm going home. And, like, he's terrified, too. So he comes with me, and we just leave him in his apartment, basically tripping off his ass, yelling out the balcony, like, and we're over here like, oh, my God. Like, I think we're going to be involved in a murder scene. Like, a homicide or something. Like, he's going to jump off. Something's crazy going to happen.
That's a suicide by fucking schizophrenia.
Oh my gosh. So we start saying our piece and everything. I'm like, dude, delete all my messages. We never saw each other.
For real.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't here.
And he walked his ass back to his apartment. And I'm just over here like trying to ground myself. The room is spinning. I'm just like crying because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to talk to a detective soon. I got to get my story straight. Like all that shit. It was horrible. Yeah, that was not fun. So don't mix liquor with shrooms. In conclusion, I say all that to say this.
Yeah, definitely. I look at weed and shrooms as medicine.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like I don't know, but when I drink, I love to smoke, but you know what I mean. Some people are like, "Oh, that fucks me up." Like, nah, it just helps me be more calm. You know what I mean? Like when I drink, I get like fucking angry. Like I'm a goofy. I'm not like a mean drunk.
Yeah.
But like when
you get a little more aggressive.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm way more aggressive because that care factor from alcohol isn't there anymore, and that shit's on purpose.
I feel that.
So, when I smoke when I'm drunk, it's like I'm still a lot more into my feelings. Mm-hmm. I'm more tapped into who I am. A little bit. Yeah. But I'm definitely not gonna drink on some shrooms. Not now.
Don't do
I've seen bad. I seen my primo fucking first time ever ate. I think it was about a eighth, and we were up in the mountains, and They were like, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "Fuck no!" Like, I don't even want to drink. You know what I mean? I think I drank a little bit. Oh no, I was the only one smoking bud, and I didn't even drink.
Okay.
And everybody else was like getting fucked up drinking, and he drank like a fifth of Burnett, some vodka, and then ate the shrooms and was like fucked up. And
Yikes.
yeah, he drank a whole fifth, and I'm like, But he ended up like driving up the mountain, fucking up his car because he's like tripping all bad, and I'm like, I had to take his gun from him, like bad fucking trip. I'm like, damn, this is why I don't
Trip responsibly, please.
I just want to smoke some fucking weed. You guys are fucking bummers.
My gosh, some people just don't know, and that's the thing about like just not being responsible. Like some people just do it just because they hear it's cool or something, and then they do it, and then they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I want to learn some shit.
I was not prepared for this. Right. Like, yeah. I feel like that's how I went in my first trip. I was just like, sounds cool. I'm bored. Let's do it. And then learning the hard way when you mix it with liquor.
Oh, yeah. What's your like worst trip? That one?
That one for sure.
That one for sure?
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
What was your most beneficial trip then? And how much did you take?
Well, as far as benefiting off of mushrooms, I definitely say like all of it altogether was very beneficial. Like tripping really hard and like really getting into depth with myself, my emotions, my consciousness, that, and then also mixing it with microdosing. But again, like I'm very like into being intuitive and like listening to my heart, my mind, my body, my soul when it comes to doing certain things. So I don't just do it just to do it. I do it when I feel like I really, really need to. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really just a tool. It's never a crutch, if that makes sense. Like you can't see it that way. It's only a tool, like temporary. You're not gonna get addicted. You're not gonna keep doing it all the time. If you do see yourself doing that, then you got to start looking at yourself a little bit more because it's like, why are you doing that? For what?
I don't think you can get addicted to shrooms.
No, you can't. But you could want to do it a lot.
Yeah.
And then that leads to different things like...
Other drugs? Or
actually,
what?
I've even heard that like you have to be super careful with shrooms because sometimes you can put yourself in a psychosis of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because my mom's schizophrenic. You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with shrooms for sure. It's definitely like, if it calls you, it calls you. Don't ever force it, and educate yourself on those things for sure.
That's where
you can fuck yourself over.
I was, that's why I was nervous because I deal with fucking anxiety a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the shit out how I grew up. You know what I mean? And they were saying like, anybody who deals with anxiety or has like severe depression probably shouldn't take shrooms until they're in a safe headspace.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, motherfucker, I don't when. Like I'm doing this
in this society, like
I'm doing this to not be how I am, and I heard this is the tool to fucking be that. And now don't do that. Like
it just comes back to mindset though, for sure. Like and education.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. That let's see, what is it called? Well, maybe just not tripping like a motherfucker, like like a whole 7 grams. You know what I mean? Eat a whole quarter. Because
definitely take it easy.
I've heard people are like eating quarters, fucking exquisite over here. Yeah, eat a quarter and like go to Walmart type shit.
Okay.
And like have a scary ass trip, like
you can't do that
just because of the company he was with. But I'm like, damn, I would never do some shit like that because I feel like I'd be more susceptible to losing my mind. And it lasts for like months after, I heard. It
could. It just depends on the chemistry because it's all like chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, so like your whole body, like everybody's body has different chemistry. And that's why diet and like blood types and all that stuff come into factor when it comes to like losing weight or like whatever.
Yeah.
But that also plays into like when you're using shrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, every factor.
Yeah. You got to pay attention to that stuff. If you're doing it like recklessly, you're probably going to get reckless results. You know, you got to be educated for sure.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. Even I started that way with weed. I didn't really start smoking like heavy, you know what I mean, or just regularly until I was like 21.
Oh,
For real.
okay.
Like I would smoke every once in a while. I'd get a fucking panic attack and then be like, I don't want to smoke anymore, and then smoke some more. You know what I mean? And then learn some
You're
shit.
like, maybe this time it'll be different.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I would be like, all right, I'm gonna try to smoke with a sativa and then be cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then smoke with the indica and be like, that made me tired. But they all made me anxious. But I feel like it was just shit that was in my life that was making me anxious because like, what does Bob Marley say when you smoke bud? Like the herb reveals you to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always felt like when I would smoke, I'd be like categorizing like insecurities and shit. And, like,
Yeah.
when you're like really high, you're like sitting there all introspective thinking about some real life. Like, oh, I probably should do some shit about that.
I think that could go one of two ways. Like, it could be to reveal yourself to yourself, or it could also be like, hey, maybe you should stop.
Yeah.
Like, just stop smoking. You're abusing me now.
Yeah, for real. I've after I lost my my girlfriend when I was smoking weed, she passed away.
I heard about that, R.I.P.
Yeah, when I was smoking, like I started smoking heavy, but it was also maybe it was like a coping mechanism, but it also felt when I was smoking it was like a hug.
Yeah.
Like it was just like fuck, I feel
Definitely
like I'm
feels
able
that
to
way.
tap into not being angry because I've lost so many people in my life and I never knew how to channel my sadness or my emotions. So it would just, sadness would always just fucking go to anger right away.
Yeah.
I'd be crying and I'd be like,
Frustration.
all fucking mad. I'm like, damn, why am I mad?
Well, you're probably just frustrated with being sad.
Yeah. And
It's
I
crazy.
didn't know that. And,
Yeah.
and then just smoking was always like a medicine. It just helped me deal with or just kind of like,
Numb it a little bit.
not necessarily numb it either. It was more like I was able to see it or feel it. Like I was able to feel my sorrow. Like it was there. Cause I would be so
Like
fucking
externally?
high. Yeah, like I would
Okay.
feel it. I don't
Okay.
know.
Like look
I
at
would-
it a little bit and be like,
I would even do like edibles and shit and like sit there and just be by myself and where you could almost like, I don't know, it's almost like a fucking, like a spirit or a being. Like I could feel my sadness because it's, I don't know. That's just how I was feeling it. But then I did it too much and I scared myself.
you scared yourself?
Yeah, hell yeah, I scared myself. I ate too much edibles and was like, all right, I don't want to fucking feel like this. I'm just too uncomfortable now.
Yeah.
But I still do it every once in a while.
That's interesting though. It makes me, because it kind of makes me think about like spirituality.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're constantly battling wars that we might not even see too around us. And like for me, I'm very empathic, so sometimes I even like absorb other people's energy and like their sadness, their depression and stuff like that. Like it's not even my feelings anymore cuz like just empathy like, and then when you mix it with psychology, like you can sense and see everything. Like you can read a person's face, see their pain, stuff like that. And that's not fun.
Yeah, you're certain people you hang around, like they either have a healing spirit, a giving spirit, or they just fucking drain you.
Right, little parasites, huh? Little freaking
Like I
vampires.
got a fucking smudge after hanging around you, you
They're
know?
out there. They're out there.
Do you smudge?
Sage here
Yeah.
and there.
Here and there.
Yeah, I don't do it too often, just because I actually heard that it could welcome energy. Like it can it takes energy out of the room, but it could also welcome it if you don't do it the right way. So like you have to, when you sage, you have to leave all your windows open.
Yeah.
So that like, you know, whatever you're saging, it leaves.
Yep.
And then you have to make sure you close your window too, though, because once the sage is gone, they can come right back in, type of thing.
Because it's cleansed.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's
like
empty space now. I wonder.
yeah, there's no like, yeah, because there's like a whole realm of things going on. Like
Yeah, I'm not.
there's gotta be, you know, because like when it comes to angels and stuff like that, when people pass away, like they're in another realm. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
really dead, you know. So it's like
I felt
they
it.
look over you, stuff like that, and yeah, there's some things going on.
When I lost my mom, you know what I mean? I was in the room I was holding my mom at the hospice. Like, I was face to face with her, and it's gonna be a little hard. I hope I don't cry. I don't give a fuck though. But like,
I got you. Okay.
I'm like,
I'm
I
the
don't
safe
give a
space
fuck.
for you to cry.
It's cool to be transparent, but like,
Yeah.
when I was holding my mom and I watched her take her last breath, and it was crazy because when I got up,
Yeah.
like you could feel, I felt like a cool, like I felt her spirit in the room.
Yeah.
It was like I was so fucking like in pain when I seen her take her last breath. And then when I got up, it was like a moment of relief, like a short moment of relief that I felt her. I like
Still,
felt her
like,
spirit.
Yeah.
Like I felt it up here, like just enveloping the.
Just going into the other realm.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's
It was like I felt her
crazy.
watching us, and everybody just kind of like me, my sister, my brothers, and my dad. We just all just like looked at each other like, damn. And I just kind of like smiled. I smiled at the end and was
Yeah.
like, whoa,
I
like
wonder-
that was fucking intense. It was a different feeling. I never felt that feeling ever, but it was I'm pretty sure, almost positive that I felt her spirit leave, and then wasn't there anymore.
Right.
Yeah, like when they carried her body out, it was like, that's not my mom. Like I felt her leave. That's the vehicle.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like it was a trip. Yeah, it was
That's
definitely a spiritual.
crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, at that moment, it was when I was like, well, mom, like you know what's at the end now. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking pray to you, because me and her used to always have a different battle. I grew up not caring about God, like blah blah blah, you know what I mean? And then I became a Christian when I was like 17 to like 20, and then was like, fuck this ain't for me. And she loved when I was a Christian, and then when I was like, nah, mom, I'm more on my like.
She was still here? Or,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We were always, you know what I mean? She went to my baptism and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And like, I was really trying to change my life. Like, I was really devout about my walk. And I forgot where I'm going with this, but like, oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is when I was a Christian, she loved it. And then when I backslid and was like, I'm not a fucking Christian anymore. I want to be on my Chicano Native American tip. You know what I mean? This is not for us. She hated that shit. She hated that shit. But now when I remember when they were carrying her out, and they had like a nice little flower like body bag almost,
Oh, okay.
like a sheet, and it was weird because I was like, well, like now you know what's at the end. I'm like, I'm gonna pray to
She's
you.
on the other side.
Yeah, I'm gonna pray to you now. Because like I felt her, I could still feel her. It's weird. Have you ever?
And
You know
everyone
what I mean?
says that. No, because I do too. And then my sister says that too. Because my oldest brother, he recently passed away last year in like the beginning of the year. So it was huge because he was like the backbone of the family. Like he was the man. Like he took care of everybody in the family. Like he was a hard worker. You know, he had his businesses, stuff like that. And so like when he passed away, he was actually in the middle of remodeling like my parents' house, because it was like going to shit really bad. Everybody was like moving out and like it was just them. So he came in, he was fixing it up, but in the middle of it, he passed away. And like it was just like this huge rippling effect within the entire family, because he was like the backbone. Like he brought everyone together.
Patriarch.
Yeah, he was that guy. And like when he passed away, like we felt it in so many different ways and so many different levels. And like, yeah, we definitely do still feel his presence, and like we feel his power and like trying to help guide us into like certain directions and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if you have this, but for me, like whenever I see like a white Jeep, like I forget the model or whatever, but whenever I see it, it's like, I know I'm in the right direction. Like that's the sign for me.
Okay.
You know, so like if I see it, it's like, okay, I'm going the right direction. My brother got me. He's looking out, and it's all good. You know,
had a
that type
Jeep?
of thing. Yeah, so it's like, you know, death sucks. It has a huge impact in the real world, but I feel like also they're in a better place for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like they're probably very peaceful. Like they got all the time in the world. That's why they're like watching over us, you know? They're
Yeah.
just chilling and like helping us out. So it's cool.
Yeah. You ever wanted to talk to like a spiritual medium?
So I've experienced talking to what is it called? An angel reader. And like she taps in with like your past life and like your guardian angels from all your different levels of life, and like because your soul lives cycles in this world. So it's like with my experience, when I met my angel reader, she drew some cards down to tell me my future, but then she also tapped into like my guardian angels, and they ended up telling me some stuff like I was like an Egyptian princess in my past life. And, like, I had it made. I had all my way with men and stuff like that. And, like, I chose to come into this reality basically working hard for everything. You know, like, I just decided I'm just going to work hard for everything, earn everything myself, and, you know, not live that princess life.
Damn.
That type of thing.
Yeah, like I want to live on the other end.
Yeah. So we definitely come here for lessons and evolutions in our souls or whatever we are outside of this. It's like, you know.
What do you want to do in your next life? You want to go back to being a princess?
Definitely do. I don't like this shit. I don't want to work no more.
I don't want to do this shit no more.
Take me back.
Yeah.
No, but like it seems like a long life, but when you compare it to like the different realms, it's definitely short. I don't know. Time is so crazy.
It's not real.
It's not real, but it's also like different for different situations. Like, you know how time moves faster when you're having fun?
Yeah.
And then it's slow when you're like fucking depressed and sad. It's like, fuck. The clock is ticking just so much slower. And then, I mean, also when you look back on your life, it's like, whoa. All that just happened. Like it was nothing, you know?
Yeah. That's like you ever try to watch a clock and to see when the minutes change? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because within like you're when having
you stop
fun.
paying attention.
Yeah, you're having fun.
It's like,
you're
oh,
damn.
Okay, damn. It's been 2 hours already? Okay. Like right now, our conversation, how long we've been here? Like since what, 7, 6?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't really pay attention to the time unless like the conversation starts dying. I'll be like, all right, yo, wrap this shit up. But no, that's real. It's like my sister does. She's a spiritual medium.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can probably link you up with her.
I would love to meet somebody like that.
She's told me some crazy ass shit about my life, and like she does like numerology and
astrology and all that.
Yeah, she's actually she worked at the hospice.
Oh, that your mom passed
that my
away
mom was there, yeah. And like she told me some things about like I could barely remember them, but I've had my cards read too, not by her, but like from my peoples and shit. And I'm like, damn.
Okay.
Like I don't know that I'm like highly convinced. I should say like I believe it for sure.
What do you believe in, the spiritual world or what?
Oh hell yeah, I believe in the spiritual world for sure. I'm not necessarily like a Christian subscriber. You know, I don't believe in.
I mean,
feel
there's
like we're
truth in all religions, but
yeah, I feel like we're more complex than a book.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Was
like,
written by
men.
A man, so
you know, I mean, it's a beautiful book. I've
right.
read the Bible, but it's also not a beautiful book in its own sense. I just feel like we're definitely a lot more beautiful than just that one fucking tool.
Oh yeah.
And when you said we've been here before, or our soul does cycles, like hell yeah, that's super true. I feel like that.
I've seen documentaries.
Yeah, like what?
Like there's kids that will be born and like when they reach a certain age to even talk, they'll tell you these crazy, outrageous things like in detail. Yeah. Like in the documentary I saw, there was this little boy and he was about 6. And he was telling his mom how in his past life he was a war veteran. Yeah. And like he knew the number on his plane and everything, like to the detail. And she even fact checked everything and she showed him like a newspaper with his face and he was like, yeah, that was me. Oh, I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's real life. Cause then you think about like it's cool to know too, because it makes you feel that much more free to do whatever you want with it, you know? Yeah. Like you could really do whatever you want within life.
Well, that's what they say too, is I see my dad die. He's here, but I've seen him die straight up.
And like, come back?
Yes. I've seen my dad die and come back.
What? That's crazy.
We talk about PTSD. So
damn. So he actually got a taste of death, though, man.
So he said when he died, like I seen him just boom, like fall out because he was fucking like not okay that day, like drunk as fuck, like hit his head, bang, and wouldn't wake up and called the cops and shit, like crazy.
How old were you?
Shit, I was probably like, damn, my son's age, so I was probably like 11. And I didn't think anything of it. I remember when it happened, I thought it was like just be solid about it. That's all I kept remembering, is like, don't show sadness in this moment. I remember that. I was like, don't be afraid. I kept telling myself, don't act all like a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at 11.
Yeah, I remember, and I was just like, oh, he's all right. He'll be all right. Yeah, I remember thinking that, and I'm like,
were you by yourself?
I was actually with my auntie.
Oh, okay.
And we were at my auntie and uncle's house, and I remember my auntie sitting like on the other couch, and my uncle was like fucking pounding on my dad's chest, like, wake up, motherfucker, like, you're not gonna die. And then I'm sitting there all acting all nonchalant about it, trying to put on the front because I was like, I don't want anybody looking at me like a bitch. But yeah, I remember my dad telling me, even recently, he'll still bring it up, and was like, when I died, like, I remember going up and like feeling that I wasn't in my body, and it was just like I could see a light, and I heard and felt the words like, it's not your time yet. Like, he felt those words, and he also heard them, but he was like, there's a fucking bright ass light, and he was like, that's home right there. And my dad's not spiritual at all.
Yeah.
And he was like, I felt it. I felt like I've been here before, and I felt love, and I want to go home. And he was like, I don't know if that was God or somebody, but he was telling, it's not your time. He was like, it's not your time yet. And then he was like, no, I want to go. I want to go home. And he was like, it's not your time yet. Just repeated himself, and then he woke up to my fucking uncle just pounding on his fucking chest all crazy. And he was like, like,
that's
about to come
wild.
back.
Yeah, because there's like a whole theory too when they say that light that you see is actually coming out of like the canal of your mother.
Oh,
like
you're going to another place?
Yeah.
I'm in all fuck. I don't want to come back to this shit. Come on, Tupac.
I mean, shoot, it could be a whole nother like reality to a different planet or something. Who knows?
A whole spiritual. What is this? Did you ever read that book? Fuck, it's called The Law of Ra.
Law of Ra.
Yeah, The Law of Ra. There's like 7 different dimensions, or I think it's like 11. I'll look it up because
How can you even measure that though?
They actually have like a crazy measurement of how it really works, like the dimensions. It's a trip. The book was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that.
I'll show
the
it to you.
The Law of Ra.
Yeah, The Law of Ra. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, watch. Let me talk while I finish this real fast. Or
okay, so I
sorry.
could talk about how like
Talk about different dimensions. The Law of Ra.
different dimensions. Oh, well, I believe in the theory of everything for sure. I think when it comes to anything like that, like the theory of everything. So anything you think, imagine, or believe, whatever, it exists somewhere in the universe. So like there's truth in everything.
Oh, I was just thinking that the other day. No lie.
It's crazy.
Whoa.
You know, like when people try to get into depth about like certain spirituality or anything like that, I'm just like, dude, anything you believe, it exists somewhere in the world. Like, and then that's what comes with like manifestation and alignment with because like since there's different realms and different layers of reality, you have yourself living within those different realms. And since there's different, like even just minor little changes of the realities, like happening in the moment, like that's where alignment and all that comes in. Because when you start changing your actions and your thoughts and everything like that, you can turn yourself into the brighter, more positive part of your realms, you know, layers of reality. And
that's what the Law of Ra refers to.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So like,
let me know, because I never heard of that.
I guess it's 8 different dimensions according to this website that I'm on, is mindmatrix.net. Like the first one is they're called densities.
Densities.
Yeah, so the first one is the matter in various forms, which is like fire and liquid. Second dimension is the self-motivated action, like is growth, like a plant. Okay. And the third, which we're at, is the humankind density, the consciousness and awareness, like abstract thoughts and all that. And the
Okay.
fourth and fifth, that's probably like where Jesus was. They compare people to, like, he's able to, like, almost like live outside of time. And that's why they say he was like capable of not being here but being here and able to perform miracles. Like, this book is a trip. Like,
yeah,
I would
because
love
like
to show it
I'm
to
connecting it to like the chakras. You know how we
Yeah.
have different chakras? There's
That's-
7.
you. Literally, it's that.
There's 7 different chakras. So it's like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
So then the chakra is like the bottom of the barrel, basically, to that, right? Because
Yeah,
it's like there's
so-
the chakras, but then there's all this other stuff going on.
The third dimension is like the gateway to the intelligent infinity. The fourth is the soul. And then the fifth is like the universe. You become a part of the universe. That's like where they said Jesus was at, and like all the people who were like Buddha, you know what I mean? And or no, the sixth is the godhood, because it's a gateway to intelligent infinity. You know, I don't know. Like, there's, I'm not gonna get
I
too
don't know
in
if I
depth
want
with
to.
it.
I don't know if I want to deep dive with that yet.
No, I have the book. I never really gave it a chance. I'm like,
It's
this shit
just
is
like,
crazy.
yeah, just because like right now in my phase of life, I just want to have everything come to me in divine timing. You know, like I don't want to go searching for it. I want it to come to me. And I feel like
Manifest it.
that is just like way better just because, you know, it'll put you in alignment to what you need in the time being. And
Yeah.
then you'll end up where you need to be in good time rather than forcing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just change your whole reality in certain
Yeah,
different
let
ways.
it be organic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like I bought the book and listened to it for shit. It's like a 16-hour book, and I've probably listened to like maybe 30 minutes. But it's called the Raw Contact,
Okay.
the RA Contact, and yeah, I don't know. I like to think about like the spiritual shit too.
Yeah.
Like this isn't just it. You think I'm gonna live my whole life fucking depressed and have PTSD, and you know what I mean?
You
This
know
is
what?
life. Nah, there's something way better out there.
Man, and you know what's so beautiful about that though is because like there's a rarity within people that were born like in the 90s, because you know how we had a taste of the life before technology.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot of responsibility on our shoulders here for the future. You know, we want to get into that.
Hey. I know.
Because like, man, my kids are growing up and they know nothing but technology, you know? And like, I have to make sure that they have a balanced life because for me, technology is demonic, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, sure, it's cool. They're tools, whatever, but, you know, like
think
they
it's an
actually
evil thing?
bring bad things. And yeah, because we're not supposed to be ingesting all this information like we are. We're not supposed to be connecting to strangers online. Like it leads to a lot of negative things, you know, like predators are getting easier access to little girls, like people are going crazy because of the information they're ingesting, you know, and like it's just
Can I argue on that? Can I play the
yeah,
devil's
yeah, for
advocate?
sure. I mean, that's my opinion, but you know, yeah, we can
I
argue.
think that's a pessimistic way of looking at it
Why?
because you're only looking at one end of the spectrum.
I mean, well, there's positive parts about it, you know?
I don't think it would be demonic.
But
It could very well, or it is very well demonic in its own time. You know what I mean? Like, people do some fucking dirty ass shit with the internet, and watch when it becomes sentient. Like our last episode, we were talking
Exactly.
about like about like the AI generated art and fucking how you could like talk to ChatGPT and it direct your whole life. Like, watch when that becomes sentient and
right.
is able to understand the universe as a whole and just takes us over. But
I mean, shit, and especially when people
I
are
don't-
isolated too, like, and all they have is the internet and social media, and you know, sometimes they get driven crazy doing that. Like,
I feel like that's the person though.
oh, of course, yeah,
Like,
it always
we-
comes back to mindset, but also like
We live in a beautiful
responsibility
time.
for
Yeah.
people too. Like, I don't know if you heard of this guy called 19 Keys, but he's somebody that's very prominent in like AI and all that stuff. And
19
he's-
keys.
Yeah, 19 Keys. And he's somebody that's trying to make sure that people that are getting into technology, they're getting into it in a beneficial way and not allowing it to take over and a bad way, because like, I mean, we're stressing about fake news these days, you know. Even since I was in middle school, we've been stressing about fake news. Imagine how it's gonna get now when you can literally fake a whole video, picture, whatever. Like, what kind of narratives are they gonna be pushing? Especially since people are like stuck at home now these days. Like, people don't even socialize anymore.
Yeah,
You know, it's
me.
rare. That's why podcasts are big, because people like seeing people have conversations because they don't have
they don't
them in
wanna
real
get
life.
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, man, we're living in real crazy times. And I don't want to get left behind. I'm trying to adapt.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. That's what our whole last podcast was about. Was like the direction of where this intelligent information or intelligent where all of this is gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It could go any direction.
I'm just a ignorant ass artist that wants to sit here and draw on my iPad, but I'm like, oh cool, like this is almost like drawn on a paper, and people are over here, they're typing into a fucking like Mid-Journey AI generator. All they're doing is typing and saying, hey, I want a rose that's growing out of a concrete, you know what I mean? And like crazy cinematic lighting, intricate details, and they don't have to put any effort into this.
They call it prompt engineering.
Yes, prompt engineering, and it's fucking boom, it's done.
There, people are getting paid 6 figures for that already.
My homie who was on the last podcast is getting paid from it.
Is he? How?
Yes.
I need to know the juice on that one.
In the next, I'll upload the podcast, but
All right, bet. I'll tune in.
yo,
That's crazy.
yeah, you know what I mean. You got to change with the times, and like I was saying,
yeah.
though, to get back to what I was saying, I don't feel like it definitely is a tool that it's just a tool. I'm not gonna say it's evil or good. It's just a tool until it becomes sentient.
Yeah.
I feel like right now we live in a time that not only is it being used to fucking find little girls and little boys, but it's also another tool that's like finding us ways to like eradicate cancers and COVID, you know what I mean? Like how to take care of ourselves and how to, you know, like there's so many different things that we could like, you know, just how to get here. You didn't know the directions on how to get here. You just typed it into a fucking chat or into a map. You know what I mean?
Once upon a time, though, once upon a time, people were getting around without all this stuff. Once upon a time, people were healing cancer without all this information because they just had it in their culture, you know, and then it just died down. And then
Eastern
again,
medicine.
you know, like the tech came in.
Yep.
It came in and it just like changed the game on everything.
I wonder whose agenda changed it on everybody. You know what I mean? Like when it talks to I'm talking about like herbal, holistic cures about like how to take care of a body, like Dr. Sebi talks about, or the Eastern medicine opposed to the Western medicine. You know what I mean? The Western medicine just teaches us how to become pill dependent. And like
lucrative.
Shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Creating patients rather than cures.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, like if we were to say a message though about like the technology, I would say, I mean, it's happening regardless. Like we really don't have control over it. Like there's people that are driving themselves to dedicate their entire lives to it. So it's happening. But like the cool thing about it is like you can jump in with little to no experience. So like for me, since I got into the Mid-Journey, the prompt engineering, I'm calling myself a prompt engineer now because I'm like, I can make some cool shit with it.
I forgot you're doing it too.
Yeah, so I'm like, I put that on my LinkedIn. I have it on my LinkedIn. So like, mind you, I'm barely stepping in like everybody is. Everyone's like a baby in this thing. But if you keep up with it, you can make it lucrative. Because I put it on my LinkedIn, and there's people in companies that are like, hey, so we want to pick your brain a little bit. Like, we'll pay you to interview you and like pick your brain about it and stuff. Like, we just want to have like some kind of expertise on our team about it. And like, who am I like to get some kind of opportunity like that, right? You just got to keep up with it and like seize the opportunity.
Yeah.
For sure. Even if it feels minuscule,
You
like
never know.
just do it because the little information you have can take somebody a whole different way in life.
I don't know where the fuck it's gonna go. Like
Fuck all that.
the new intelligence. Like there's gonna be a time where everything is just transparent. Like I'm gonna know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
before you
It's-
even open your fucking mouth. You know what I mean? Like I'm already gonna know the
Seriously.
feelings you're feeling. I wonder how draining that's gonna be.
I don't know. See, because then I feel like technology is the artificial version of real life. Like, so this whole thing we're doing here, you know, like people were doing it already once upon a time, but for fun and mixing it with like card games or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that was beautiful. You know, that was fun. That was wholesome. And then, like, with music, we got people making like a whole song on a computer. Like, they don't even need an artist anymore. Like, they don't
Yeah.
even need the instruments anymore. And it's just like, but like, these people are developing carpal tunnel. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, see it? It's like,
Yeah.
why? When you could have just been like moving and grooving and like keeping it like balanced with your body and stuff like that, with like real instruments or something, you know, or like with a band or like with groups of people. And
Interaction. And
yeah, like we got to remind people about that, because everything tech is doing, yeah, it looks cool and nice, but that's the illusion they're painting in our heads, because we were doing that already before. We were doing all this before. It's just making it readily available to the whole world. And
yeah,
that's it though.
it's taking genuine interaction out of people's lives where kids don't even go outside anymore.
Exactly.
We're the 90s kids who were always fucking outside. I had a bike.
Exactly.
I would ride the
Drinking
whole
out the
hood.
hose. We
Sorry,
didn't
you
even go
know what I mean?
inside.
Yeah, we go inside when the fucking lights turn on.
See, that was fun. That was beautiful. I missed that. Those were the golden years for me.
I could like literally go back to the times when you smell the trees.
The
And
air
like
was
you
fresh.
could, yeah, the air was fresh, and you could fucking hear the insects in the trees being loud as fuck,
Yeah, it was fun
And-
to just go outside, look under a rock.
and just chilling with the homies. You know what I
Centipedes.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like
fun. I missed that. Being
Yeah.
grounded with the earth too. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you ungrounded. It's all about the dependency thing. It goes back to that. That's what all of this is leading to, because that's how they're going to make more money. Everyone's going to be lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
They're going to be detached from intuitivity,
yeah.
holistic stuff, and then they're going to be like, I need someone to think for me. And then boom.
You know what they're capitalizing on too?
What?
FOMO, the acronym
Yeah.
FOMO. That shit is
Oh
very real. Do you ever like delete your Facebook every once in a while?
I just get off my phone. I used to do that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that's weak. Just get off your phone, bitch. Like,
I'm fucking too weak to get off my phone. I have to delete it off my shit. I have to like shut my whole account down and fucking. I'll shut my Snapchat. I'll stop
Yeah,
my
see?
Instagram, my Facebook, everything.
can't be doing it.
I
Can't
have
be doing
to.
it. Yeah, but like then your like audience, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, you left me hanging.
Yes. I
So like
hate
you
it.
can't be doing that. Like that's the crazy part too. It gets you into the dependency thing. Like
FOMO. What am I missing out on? I fucking hate it. I hate how like I've become. It's such a norm to. I'll get up in the morning and then I'll be like, should I check my
Check your phone.
notifications? Should I, or should I make some coffee first? Or you know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm gonna get on my phone real fast. See who laughed at that meme. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's definitely a good practice to hold. When you wake up, don't get on your phone. Just
Yeah.
take it easy, do what you gotta do to get ready for the day, and then maybe check your phone after that. That's
Yeah.
what I got going on.
During my work day, my work hours, like I'll have it on my phone, and I'm fucking lying. I have it on my phone, but I definitely, so like from 8 to 5, I'll have my phone where it just turns off all the social media and everything.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just called the work mode. I don't know.
Oh, what kind of? You have the iPhone, right?
No, I have an Android.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the Samsung or shit, I don't know, Galaxy something. Note something.
I used to have that one, yeah.
Yeah, they're cool, but I just put it into the work mode, and my ass is always like, still gonna fucking get out of the work mode.
But what if someone needs me?
Make
it
that's
all
it right there.
excuses.
That's the fuck. What if someone needs me? That's like the trauma thing too. Like, what if someone hits me up and they need me, and
That's so
I gotta
crazy.
clock out just to go fucking.
Right.
Never know. And then here I am, all nobody needed me, fucking scrolling like a piece of shit. That's very real. I hated it so much, but yeah. I mean, what time is it now?
About that time.
About
huh?
that time, yeah. Do you have any upcoming things that you want to tell us?
Just my song.
Just your song?
I'm working real hard on my song, and then when that comes out, hopefully, you know, I get a good marketing strategy going where a lot of people can hear it and feel it and give me opinions on it. And, like, you know, because I really want to master the art of writing.
Yeah.
So if I can get writing down, cool, we going somewhere.
Where is it going to be? Where can we listen to it?
All platforms, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we, what is your name again? Tell us your name again on the platforms.
M.E.
M.E?
Yeah, me. It's me.
Okay.
It was fun being here.
So next moves for Heads Up, we got a march coming up for Cesar Chavez. It'll be April 1st. And we're going to be doing some impromptu interviews there. We're going to be doing a lot of community events. We got some episodes coming up. We got a powerful episode coming up, and I can't wait to show you guys.
Let's go.
It's gonna be fun.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Stay
right on,
tuned.
y'all. Appreciate you.
Thank you.